Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday night. Friday night means Indie Alley, your home for independent wrestling, independent comics, the place where we mesh the two together as best we can and share all the things we love about the two mediums that make us smile and excite us. Fred, what's going on?
What's going on, Andrew? Are you ready to let the dogs out?
I am ready to let the dogs out, but not the big dog. We're going to leave him over there off the show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is that what you meant by the dogs? I didn't know what you meant by the dogs. You got me. Got me off
Oh, that
guard
was
there.
that was a hangover thing.
Oh, it was a hangover thing. I thought it was my something to do about me picking Beast of Burdens to
Oh no 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 no
be the
no
comic
no
book
no.
TV show of the week, or is a new comic book TV show.
Yeah, I'm not bashing any magical schnauzers today.
No magical schnauzers. Well, maybe they'll announce it at Comic Con. It's early. It's only Friday of Comic Con week, so maybe it gets announced. Ha ha ha. Speaking of Comic Con, you told me you've been hearing all kinds of good behind the scene news.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of rundown information from Stacy, aka the Geeky Goddess at Geeky_Goddess, a good friend of the podcast. She's giving me the 411 on a lot of stuff that I can't wait to use in our upcoming podcast or even videos for content.
Ooh, look at you going videos. See, that's what happens if you don't follow our YouTube channel. If you don't follow our YouTube channel, you will miss all this great content and all these special announcements. You better follow it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and while you're at it, follow Stacy too. She's always providing great content for us indie nerds. She's a good follow. Like she's plenty of good books, so she recommends a lot of things. I've never been misled by anything she's recommended.
Yes, her Twitter handle is geeky_goddess01. She also is a reviewer for TM Stash, and she works at a comic shop called No Here GC. Oh no, that's a panel or she's a panel moderator. I don't know. Is that the comic shop? No, that's the comic shop.
Yeah, the comic shop is that she's actually working for what's the company to the Blues? I can't remember. I'm sorry, Stacy. I'm messing stuff up for you, but it's a indie comic book company that she's actually working with right now. But she's attending panels this weekend. She's giving me a lot of information on upcoming books and sharing some other things that's pretty exciting that's happening for her. But I'll let her explain that stuff in the future when she's ready to.
It's called Big Blue Comics. I just looked it up.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
So, yeah. All right. Excellent. Any other comic book thing you want to hit before we jump into the reviews? I mean, it's kind of crazy with Comic Con if there's a book that really hits you or an announcement. I mean, I know Jeff Lemire's doing something.
Yes, he's expanding the universe of Black Hammer universe, which is going to be great. I don't exactly remember the name of the book, but he has a good book coming out. Scott Snyder is working with Charles Soule, who has an Image book coming out that sounds outstanding. It's good to see both those guys. I mean, dude, that's like Murder's Row of like writers right there with just those two. They're the Bash brothers. That's your Maguire and Canseco.
Yeah, definitely. You know that Soul Snyder book. I read the description. It kind of scared me. It seemed almost too real, like too close. Like just the one or two things could happen, and we'd really be in that kind of scenario here. That kind of gave me the chills. That book's going to be a trip.
And I'm excited that Jerry Dugan is bringing back Dead Rabbits under a new title, because you can't say Dead Rabbits because there's a bar named that and they sued him over it. But
so can we say Dead Rabbits?
We just did.
Oh no, we might have to bleep this. Okay, no more Dead Rabbits. Anyway, I was going to ask you. So here's the dilemma. So he's going to obviously re-release 1 and 2, and we both own 1 and 2 of Dead Rabbits. Are we going to be cheapskates? Are we going to buy the new one? Or are we just going to be like, I already know what happens. I got Dead Rabbit.
I'm going to hold on to the new ones because I have like 4 of them. And they're going to probably be worth a lot of money. So maybe I'll move like 3 of them.
Sometimes you have to move something so you can buy something else. It's sharing the love, though. It's putting it back out there. The circle of comic book life.
Yes, so I can buy more comics.
Exactly. All right, very cool. Well, let's jump into our comics this week. If we think of anything else from Comic-Con that comes to mind as we're going, we'll hit it real fast. Our first book is actually a holdover from the couple of weeks ago. We had such a good list the week before that it didn't quite make it. But I really liked it, and I kind of talked Fred into adding it. I think he likes it, but I really liked it. So we're going to go with test number 1. Alf Null is a lot of things: an orphan, a human guinea pig, undergoing medical tests for cash, a body hacker, a hardcore future junkie, and a corporate asset. But now Alf is on the run from their old life. It should probably be his old life, in search of a mythical Midwestern town named Laurelwood, where they're test marketing the future with tech that can't possibly exist yet and won't for decades. Written by Christopher Sabella, art by Jen Hickman, colors by Harry Saxon, letters by Hassan Osman Elahu, variant cover by Nathan Goodwin, published by Vault. Test. What'd you think of Test?
I love Test. I think it's a great book. But what I love about it most is probably because you said it's a Sabella book and it's a Vault book together. That's a winning combination for me. But last summer Sabella had given us Crowded, Shanghai Red, and House of Muck, and on the Street Level Floppies podcast, I would say it was the summer of Sabella. This year it's the Summer of Sabella Tour 2019 because he's continued the run on Crowded. He has Test and he has Trust Fall. This book right here, it kind of has like a Black Mirror type feel for me. It kind of gives me that feel. Because Sabella kind of addresses in this book a side of like humanity that people would rather ignore or pretend doesn't exist. And I think it's great. And one thing I really like about this book is how the dialogue flows. Like, he doesn't have any like narration. He kind of does it between Alf and did they mention who he talks to?
Yeah, kind of. I have some theories on that. I don't know if he's talking to a human that's on the other side, the people that are trying to get him back, or if it's some kind of computer or what it is. I guess because I don't know exactly what he is yet. So
right. Like with the dialogue that he's giving throughout this book, it makes me feel like we're inside of Sabella's head. Like these are the things he thinks about. Like he asks a great question in the beginning of the book. What did he say? He's just like, oh, here it is. Okay, he says, you're planning on seeing a film, but discover it has horrible ratings. Do you see it anyway, or pick a different movie, or stay at home? And I think these are things that Sabella thinks about. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you always see the Rotten Tomatoes and things like that, and these are the things that are going through his head, and that's why I like this book. It's so like, it's witty. It's like his Twitter feed, really.
Yeah, I would agree there. I really like the book. You mentioned the 3 books of last summer, and this is House of Muck. If you want some kind of context of what you're going down the rabbit hole with Test. It's not going to be as straightforward as Shanghai Red or Crowded. This book is going to make you think in a really good way. It's just weird and different and a bit disturbing. I just loved it. From the second I read it, I loved it. Alf is he's doing these things to himself. Obviously, he's taking these drugs because he took drugs, medical tests. He goes because he's an orphan and he's depressed and he has all kinds of issues. He's homeless. So he just goes and signs up for these testing, and he takes all kinds of crazy drugs that alter his mind, and he already has some mental illness issues on top of it. But then you get into this other side of it where he's kind of like upgrading himself with technology. And that's the part where I'm still baffled. So when he updates himself with technology, is he actually successful? Like, is he turning himself into some sort of cyborg? Or is this just some really crazy form of self-mutilation? You know what I mean? Like, he's just putting these electronic parts into himself, or on, like cutting himself open and putting some wires in himself or a metal plate, but it really isn't fixing him, in other words, because it's not really integrating with the human form. It's just in his mind he thinks he's integrating it with the human form. So really he's just mutilating himself, because there's the scene that he has with another inmate that's kind of made me think that he's just into that. This book is a trip, and I don't have the answers right now to the question I just asked, because this is issue 1, but wow.
Yeah, it's true. Like, there's a lot of dialogue to take into the this very I would just say it's like very dialogue heavy. A lot of things to read. It's a little complex at time. But if you take the time to like read it and stuff, you'll enjoy it. You totally will enjoy it. It's definitely a book that I would read, last. Like, I wouldn't, like, it's kind of like reading, if you read DC and you're reading Scott Snyder, you can't read Scott Snyder like back to back with like Brian Michael Bendis, and neither can you with this. This is something that you need to take your time with. But I really enjoy this book. I enjoyed like the art. I thought the art was brilliant. I like the story behind him. I like how he's searching for Laurelwood, where I think he mentions like it's between like Iowa or Kansas, like it can switch, but it's not found on maps. I thought that was interesting. And then at the end, the last panel has me even more interested, because I was like, what the heck is going on right now?
Yeah, exactly. And he's obviously harming people. You see glimpses of these little, kind of like going back to, now I just forgot the name of it. What was his book this summer? House of Muck. That normal situation, and then all of a sudden something goes off the rails for a few minutes, and like next thing you know, there's people I think on fire or dead or something.
Well, you seen the one issue at the beginning of the issue where he's like he heads into the cornfield, and I think those people are called like the Repo Men or something. Follow him in there, and all you see is like blood splattering everywhere, and he comes out just continuing his conversation with the AI or whoever he's talking to.
Yeah. So maybe he is a cyborg.
Yeah.
See, or did they did experiments on him with these drugs that have made him like superhuman, like a Captain America type. See, there's so many unanswered questions about.
He's a universal soldier.
Yeah, it's weird. He's Deathlock. So, yeah, I really am glad we brought this book back in, and I like it a lot. And the art is perfect for what the story it's telling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I would definitely recommend like picking up any book that he writes, or any book that's published by Vol Comics, to be exact, because both of them are hitting books out of the park. I mean, just this week, because we review books a week after, Vol had 2 huge books coming out that we will be reviewing next week.
And also a quick shout out to Hassan Othman El Lahouf. The lettering is outstanding. There's all kinds of different fonts. The lettering when he's being talked to by the AI, the lettering of someone looking at the computer files about him, the people that are trying to track him down, the types of lettering that's used when he's on social media, the action lettering to like sounds and different things. There's just so much. It's so well done, as usual, by someone whose name that we call a lot on books that we like. Don't forget your letterist, guys. So definitely check out Test by Christopher Sabella. The Summer of Sabella continues, the sequel. All right. Second book of the night is Black Hammer Justice League 1. DC Comics and Dark Horse Comics present the ultimate superhero crossover event of 2019. A strange man arrives simultaneously on Black Hammer Farm and in Metropolis, and both worlds are warped as Starro attacks. Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, and more crossover with Golden Gale, Colonel Weird, and the rest of the Black Hammer gang. Written by Jeff Lemire. Art by Michael Walsh, lettered by Nate Pinkos, cover by Michael Walsh. The variant covers, there are many. We have one by Andrea Sorrento. We have one by Yannick Pequet with colors by Dave Stewart. I bought that one. We have a cover by Yuko Shimizu. And then we have a cover by Jeff Lemire himself with colors by Dave Stewart. It's published by Dark Horse, Black Hammer Justice League #1. So this is your guy, Fred. What'd you think of this crossover?
The first thing I was wondering was, like, how many Black Label books did Jeff Lemire have to write before he was able to do this crossover to get the, like, rights to put the Justice League into one of his books?
Over under 4.
Well, he does have three DC books coming out in the future, so
See?
Yeah,
I'm
so
going to say there's one more for saving for Comic-Con.
yeah, probably. But I definitely think that this is a great book. Now, I think this book was directed towards DC fanboys because they had to understand who, like, Colonel Weird was, who Golden Gale was, who all the other characters and their characteristics of each character, like what they're known for, to get an understanding of them. Because, it kind of felt like the origin story sent back over for us. But I did like how the Black Hammer universe was shown in the beginning. And then I liked how, like, they used the Justice League. They mirrored kind of exactly what they were doing. Now I wonder, like, is now this new character, the travel agent, is that in the DC canon? Is he one of their characters, or is this a Black Hammer universe character?
I thought my guess on who it might be is Mr. Mexico, whatever the hell you say his name. Chris can say his name. That's who I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's a good. He kind of does look like him a bit. I do, but you know what I really like about this book is the art by Michael Walsh. To see, like, Superman and all these other characters being drawn like Black Hammer universe characters, and I thought that's a nice touch because the characters in the Black Hammer universe kind of look like the art when Jeff Lemire writes or draws, like Royal City and stuff. It's that style, so that's I thought that's pretty neat.
Yeah. I agree with you. I really like this book, but you're right. The first maybe 3 pages, specifically on the Black Hammer end, you can tell it's a quick introduction, a quick synopsis of who these Black Hammer characters are. Like you said, for the DC fan, some of the dialogue really, like, hammers home. This is who Gale is. She gets drunk. She goes to town and does things she's not supposed to do. She's actually older than she is. This is what Talkie-Walkie does. This is what. This is the way that Abe is, So it kind of sets that all up for you so you have a quick glimpse on who they are. Because obviously the Black Hammer fans are going to know who these Justice League members are. And then also it makes an explanation where the other Justice League members might be. Like Aquaman is off somewhere else and Martian Manhunter. It kind of says that at the beginning. So you kind of have that solved for you. But I think it was cool, especially the ending scene. Clark and Bruce and Diana in the Black Hammer world, and they've been now in the Black Hammer world for a long time. That was really cool. That was probably my favorite part of the whole book, without a doubt.
It was. So, what's cool about that is, like, for us that's been reading Black Hammer, these characters have been stuck on the farm and can't find a way out. And now you have to be questioning yourself, like, are the Justice League, are they going to be stuck there forever too?
And time's different, because it seems like the Black Hammer characters have only been on Earth for a little bit, where it's already 5 years for the Justice League characters in the other world. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, we have that big ending, that big reveal with the Colonel and a few other characters from the Justice League, a whole other group of heroes showing up in space. You guys may be able to put that together.
Who could that be? Do they have rings on?
Rings? Yeah, I think they do. So that was pretty wicked. Good book. It hasn't hit its stride.
No.
The end of the book, like I said, is the interactions between Bruce and Clark and Diana. It shows me where it's going though, so that I'm really salivating for what's coming next.
Yeah, it's
the first part.
It's like you mentioned. It's definitely like a good introduction to like new fans. It's a good start.
But I trust Lemire. Black Hammer is a great book if you haven't read it. So yeah, I would definitely get on this. Are they making this to a TV show? Do you know? Black Hammer? No, regular Black Hammer, not Black Hammer Justice League.
I'm not sure. I know he has a couple other things like Gideon Falls is being was optioned for a show, and Sweet Tooth was too. I'm not sure if Black Hammer has, but remember on the Street Level Floppies when we would argue about whose universe was better, you have to admit now Black Hammer's universe is better than Invincible because they have the Justice League in there now.
Yeah, but they're going to have an Invincible cartoon on Amazon. It's coming up. It might be amazing. So I'm still sticking by my Invincible. But, okay, we're going to try a little weird experiment here. If Black Hammer, Fred, was made into a TV show, let's go ahead and fan cast it. But let's fan cast it not with actors. Let's fan cast it with independent wrestlers. Do you think we can pull this off?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Challenge thrown. Let's see. Go ahead and do one real fast.
Okay.
I'll try to keep track of all the different ones.
One of the characters I would use is Abraham Slam.
Okay.
If I was to fan cast Abraham Slam, I would probably go to NWA or Ring of Honor. And I would give a character like Colt Cabana because he's an older veteran, but he can still kick ass because, Colt has a belt. So that means you're pretty decent when you're an old man. So he's like the veteran tough guy.
Yep.
If I was...
And he's pretty laid back.
Yeah, he's pretty chill. I mean, I've never seen him in a flannel shirt, but...
Yeah, that one might be a stretch.
Right.
But I haven't seen a lot of wrestlers in a flannel shirt, so let's see. I will do Madam Dragonfly. And I'm going to go with a pretty obvious one. I'm going to go with Rosemary. Because Madam Dragonfly is into the supernatural, and she goes into her own world and sees her creatures and different things. So that's Rosemary on Impact. She has where she goes into the underworld and has those interactions in there. So
I can see
that's mine.
Yeah, I can see that works.
Yeah, so that's my pick for her.
I'm gonna step outside the box, and I'm gonna pick somebody that's a little eccentric. Colonel Weird. He's a little out there. He's a space cadet, not just because of his job, but he's out there. And if I was to fan cast Colonel Weird, I would go to New Japan and pick somebody that's also a little bit crazy and a little bit eccentric, and I would give him Toru Yano.
There you go. Okay.
I think that would work out because if anybody's seen Toru Yano, he does some crazy stuff. He kind of like puts wrestlers' heads inside their shirt and kind of fakes out people, or he puts the referee's head in their shirt and kind of like low blow somebody just to get one by. That's definitely Colonel Weird style.
I'd agree. To people that don't know Yano, it's kind of like an updated Japanese George the Animal Steel. Not the like mindless part, but some of the crazy antics. He also tears off the pads in the corner and hits people with them and stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be a good kind of the best I can think of quickly to describe Yano. But yeah, I think he'd work perfect for Colonel Weird. I'm going to go with, Black Hammer herself. It's either, if I go with Lucy Weber, if I go with the new Black Hammer, I would say Bianca Belair. Someone who's big and can carry that hammer and can fight and looks heroic. Mm-hmm. If we're going to go with the original Black Hammer, a male, how about The Rock? I'm going to go with The Rock.
Oh wow,
for the big one. So those are that's your like main character. He's like the hero of the whole thing. And yeah, those are my two picks for
That's pretty
the
good.
Black Hammer itself.
That's pretty good. I can see both those working out. So who do we have left?
Let's see.
Golden Gale still there?
Yep, Golden Gale is still there.
Okay, I'll take her. And Golden Gale is somebody that's young on the outside, but on the inside, she's old. So if I was to cast that, I would say I would take Riho because she's 22 years old, but she's been wrestling for 13 years. So in ring, she's experienced because she's been wrestling since she was like I think 9. It might be as little as like 7, but I remember like videos of her wrestling Kenny Omega when she was real tiny.
Wow.
As a little kid. But I can also see Golden Gale's kind of she's a B word. She can be that way, and you know who could be that way too? Tessa Blanchard.
Ooh.
She beats dudes up. So I could see either one of those probably working.
I could see that. Yeah, she's definitely mean and ornery like Tessa. But I do like the Riho one. That's an interesting way to look at it. I'll go with that one too. Let's see, what else do I have? I have Talkie-Walkie. I originally was gonna do what's his name from Villain Enterprise?
PCO?
Yeah, PCO. And then I found out that Talkie-Walkie's actually a female. Couldn't do that. So
breaking news.
I don't have breaking news. So we're not going that route, but I was trying to think of a wrestler who's kind of robotic. This is kind of mean, but I'm going to go with Kelly Klein. She's kind of robotic in her deliveries, and she's a good wrestler, but maybe the charisma side of things is not.
Are you saying she's plain?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I hope she's not listening.
You better hope. Yeah, she's going to beat my ass if she is. Still hope she doesn't lose the belt to the Allure. She's better in the Allure, but a little more charisma. So
yeah.
Is that all of them? I think that's all of them.
I
Did
think
we miss anyone?
I think so too. But the universe is opening up more. But this is the main cast. So if we were taking like the Justice League of the Black Hammer universe, this is definitely where we start. So that's a good.
We have a place for La Parka and La Parka Jr. coming up too, with that new Black Hammer comic book that's coming out that has little like skull people. Yeah. So that'll work. All right. Well, that was a fun little exercise. Let's move on to the next comic. See, that's what happens when you combine wrestling and comics. You get weird shit. Unearth #1. When a flesh-warping disease ravages a remote village in Mexico, a scientific task force travels to the inhospitable area to investigate the contamination. Tracing the source of the disease to a nearby cave system, the team discovers a bizarre, hostile ecosystem and a supernatural revelation from which they may never escape. Written by Cullen Bunn and Kyle Stram. Art and cover by Baldemir Rivas. Lettered by Crank. Variant cover by Kyle Stram and Greg Smallwood. Published by Image. Unearth.
This book right here, I picked it up just because it's Cullen Bunn. Because if you've listened to us in the past, I'm a huge Cullen Bunn fan. I like his horror comics. You know what's crazy is I don't watch horror movies. I get a little scared. I'll admit it. You know, I leave the lights on and stuff like that. But this book right here, it kind of reminds me of a horror movie that I have seen before, and it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie called The Happening. It gives me a feel. It gives me a feel like that. I like it. It's kind of sci-fi thriller, mystery, all wrapped into one. I feel like the art, like with the monsters and stuff, was done pretty well, especially like the Doctor. When you see the Doctor, because I have the issue with the Doctor on the cover, and he's kind of looks like a crazy Jabba the Hutt looking dude.
Okay. In the book, the little kids smile when he tells them, the Doctor's right here. That little kid has like the happiest smile on his face.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. I couldn't get past that. Like it's right. One of the images that is stuck with me even after days later.
Right, because that's what's bad with like horror movies, like the little girl from the Poltergeist, where she's like, they're here. That's creepy, man. That's creepy to me. I don't know, man. That's creepy. I get a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the art by Balder Rivas was extremely done well. I really like I've never read any Kyle Strand books, but I did order some on Prime Day, so I'm gonna get some. I like it because he kind of. I'm not sure who's writing this. Is it him? Is it Cullen Bunn? Because both of them are on it. They're working together, but I still like it, and I like my favorite part of this book. I'm gonna say is the adrenaline rush when they're going through the cave where they're searching. That right there, I was like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? And people are going to pay in the next book or books after because it has to. And I'm down to see some crazy stuff.
Yeah. It reminds me of a Hollywood movie. That's instantly what I told you. Like the type of movie, you have these movies, I don't know, I'm going to name a bunch. Like, let's see, Predator, Resident Evil, different things where the movie starts with a group of like special forces badasses. You know what I mean? And they're taking a scientist person down into a cave, a tunnel, a basement, whatever the hell it may be, an old abandoned lab in search of supernatural some sort of creatures, and it all goes foobar. And that's basically this first issue is what happens. You know, you have your drill sergeant kind of guy who's your typical drill sergeant, loud, and we're just, our job is to, if we have to kill him, we're killing him, very hard ass. And then it goes to hell, and you got these scientists that have to kind of take charge of the group to kind of save them because they're stuck in this cave. So I really liked it. And I'm different than you on the horror. I don't like all the horror stuff. And I haven't liked everything Cullen Bunn's done. I've liked most, but not everything. So I was like going into it kind of, okay, let's see what this one's about. But I really did. I enjoyed it, and I like this action vein it's taking. And so I'm excited to see where it goes next.
You know, one character that I find kind of intriguing in this book is the guy that has the tank top on. Is he the older fella? He's like his head's a little misshaped. His arms seem a little too long. He's got the beer belly. And I'm wondering, is he going to turn into one of these things? Because I'm looking at the shape, like he has bumps all over his head, like big, his head is just misshaped. Everything about this guy is misshaped. Like it's leading me to believe something's up with this dude. This
is like the guy that's like the drill sergeant that I said. Yeah. He's the hard ass.
Yeah, he has the Hulk Hogan mustache.
Yeah. So, it's a great looking book. The art's beautiful. I enjoyed the story. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep reading it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely all about, like, continuing this book. It's a little exciting. I'm surprised that you liked it. That's why we put it on, because I was like, well, I don't know. Andrew didn't like Cold Spots, so I'm not sure if he's going to like this.
Yeah, I'll admit I wasn't sure on this one either. I didn't know. But I think that, like I said, that Hollywood thing I just described at the top of my review is what got me. It fits with things I like. I want to see how the commandos are. And obviously it's going to come down to maybe like one soldier and the scientist at the end, probably.
Yeah, who's left standing once it's over.
Yeah. So, pretty cool. But definitely recommend this one. Check it out. Baltimore Rivas is a new artist too. I couldn't really find much else that he had done. This is when I did some research on him. So, but I like his stuff.
And today I was approached by Kyle Stram that he asked if it was okay to use the Los Nerdos picture of us holding the book. So if they end up putting it in the book, look for us. I'll sign autographs.
Ooh, will Joey be allowed to sign in mask?
Sure, yeah. You can get your picture taken with Joe, virtual picture.
He can send you virtual cookies, isn't that what he's talking
about? He's a little weird.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, I remember when you tweeted that, when you first tweeted that. So that is really cool. If they get you in the book, very, very cool.
Yeah. Look out, Chris. I'm getting in books too. What?
Look at that. I mean, now I feel really left out. Thanks. But that's okay.
I can hold a picture of you up in the next picture we take.
Thank you, though.
You can put your Luchasaurus mask on.
My Luchasaurus mask on. I'll just do that aging app, which
no.
I'm afraid I might look the same, but
No.
yeah.
No, don't do that because I did it. I looked like Keith Richards.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. On that note, we're moving on. Okay, Reaver number 1. The continent of Madeiras once promised a new start for settlers, but 200 years after its discovery, the war rages on. Deep within the savage and untamed lands, a darkness builds that must be stopped at all costs. To do so, the imperialists assemble 6 of the most despicable prisoners: a turncoat, a skin eater, a sorcerer and his bodyguard, a serial killer, and the devil's son. The only ones who can stop the end of the new world. They are a hell's half dozen. Written by Justin Jordan, art by Rebecca Isaacs, colors by Alex Gamaris, lettered by Clayton Cowles. The covers by Becky Cluen. Variant cover Rebecca Isaacs and Alex Gamaris. Published by Image Reaver.
This book right here, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because it's written by Justin Jordan. And in case you guys didn't know, we do read a lot of DC books, and those don't rub me the right way, the ones that he's written. But this one right here, I have to admit, as a person that's not into, and you guys are all going to come at me, Game of Thrones, this has a Game of Thrones feel, but it meets the Suicide Squad. Like, it's put together. The art in this book is tremendous. The colors in this book, did you say it was colored by Alex Gamaris?
Mm-hmm.
The same guy that does Bone Parish, and you can tell that like this panels just pop, man. It's really done well. The character that's kind of like Harley Quinn, I can't remember her name right now.
Oh, okay.
But she's pretty foul. She'll bite.
Foul mouth.
Yeah, she'll bite your man parts off, or she likes to bite like digits off. So it could be like your man part, or it could be a finger, because it mentions that. But I'm really into this. Like, the beginning was a little slow for me, but when they started like talking about the other characters and they were recruiting and kind of basically putting together their Suicide Squad team, I was like, okay, I can get into this. So I'm definitely down for this book. Shout out to Justin Jordan, because I will eat crow. This is a good book. Your DC stuff, I'm not really a fan of, but this is really good.
Okay. All right. Now, you said you were shocked about Unearth. I am 100% completely blown away shocked that you like this book. Okay. This was one of the last books I read for the week. And you said, well, if you like it, we'll add it. And I assumed, looking at the cover, it's a horror story when I saw the picture of the woman that likes the digits. And so I'm going in, okay, it's a horror story. Fred likes it, some kind of horror story. And then I'm reading, I'm like, this is like World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings, Conan, all these things, and I'm
wait,
like, Fred hates all that shit.
It's not Lord of the Rings, because no one's walking like 17 miles to find a freaking ring. It's not that.
They're walking now. That book ended with them walking, by the way, and they're gonna walk for multiple issues. I guarantee it.
I don't.
And so be prepared for the walking. This has a Fellowship of the Ring feel. They put together a party. Very typical Dungeons and Dragons. There's a party of misfits. You have your thief, and you have your sorcerer, and you have your berserker barbarian, and you have all these different things. You have magic. So it is definitely sword and sorcery. There's no doubt about it. And I was shocked that you were into it. But it's really well written. This is my wheelhouse. This is something I really enjoy, is sword and sorcery. So I'm on board for this all the way. The characters are great. Each one is unique to me. The arrogant aristocrat who kind of comes across like an elf to me. For someone who hasn't read it, maybe think of an arrogant elf. He's good looking, the long hair, and thinks he's, the greatest thing on earth. You have this big barbarian guy with a tattoo. He's a berserker. He loses his mind. He goes nuts. You have a mysterious wizard. You have this crazy like druid chick with tattoos on her face, and she bites digits and
Yeah.
does some magic of her own. A really cool book. It set the story up, like Fred said. Definitely, the Suicide Squad. They're on a mission to defeat something evil, and the reason they are picked, one of the reasons, is because they're not expected to survive.
Right.
It's a suicide mission, and beautiful looking book. I love the art. I love the style. The letter he wrote at the back of this book talking about his influences of Conan the Barbarian, the movie, just it added more to what I had just read. You have the map on the back, that world building that I like from Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft. Yeah, I'm sold. This is my favorite book of the week, without a doubt.
Wow.
And it was unexpected. It was not something I expected because I did not read the solicit. I just saw it as a new book from Image, a number one, and I tend to get the number ones and give them a try always. And I was pleasantly surprised. What a great book this is.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a book worth checking out. I would recommend it, and I'm not into that Dungeons and Dragons stuff, like you rolling dice crap. I'm not into that stuff, I never did that. But I do watch Stranger Things, so does that count? Like, do I get a pass?
Do you like the kid who runs the dungeons?
Sure.
And stuff?
Yeah.
Or would you be like the kid that said doesn't want to play and ruins the game?
I like the
so
kids.
you're more like Mike and less like Will.
Yeah, I like, who's the Italian kid, the kid with the messed up?
Mike.
Okay, yeah, I like him. I can get along.
Yeah, you're Mike.
Yeah.
You want to go hang out with your girlfriend and don't want to play the game that Will spent all day setting up. Yep, I see how it is. But but no, it's cool. And they're going to walk, man. And I'm going to be curious to see if you stay on this book.
Well, if they're walking, I'm out.
It's going to be an experiment to see as the book becomes more and more magic-y and more like dragons and whatever. I don't think there should be a dragon in it, but
I'm gonna tell you when I'm out. If there's freaking hobbits in this book, I am out. I don't want to see no hobbits, anything like that, because that's it's not cool. Because the only time I want to see Sean Astin in anything is playing Rudy. That's it.
There you go. Well, they did kill a small guy. He took that poison, so maybe he was a hobbit. So maybe that was for you. So the closest thing to a hobbit was murdered, so you don't have to worry about it.
Let's hope so.
All right. Well, those are our comics this week. Check back to see if Fred sticks with Reaver. I know I will.
Before we move on, I want to shout out a couple books that I also read that people might want to check out. I definitely suggest that if you haven't read She Could Fly, by Christopher Cantwell and Martin Marazzo doing the art, same artist from Ice Cream Man.
One sec. I'm going to interrupt you. Did you see that was just announced today? They're making a show.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
No, I did not see that.
They just, I'm going to say an hour or two before our show today, before we were going to record, they announced that they're going to turn that into a TV series.
I wonder if Stacy sent me that in my messages. I haven't looked. But yeah, this is definitely a book to get on. Like, you can, the first trade, the second trade's almost done. We're on issue 4 out of 5. The first trade was great. It deals with a lot of mental illness, some things that need to be talked about. And it's a burger book, so right there's enough for you. If it's a burger book and you want something that's like Vertigo, why not go to the person who created Vertigo, Karen Berger? That's all I'm saying. The second book that I would recommend is number 6 of Criminal, Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. This stuff is amazing. I like the crime drama. I like all of it. It's so well written. The art, it just flows. It's like a TV show, like I'm watching like Matlock or something. Okay, not Matlock. Maybe Perry Mason or something. Old school show like that. But it's done well. Another book is Orphan Age by Aftershock. It's a Ted Anderson and Nuno Pilati. Ever since like the first issue, it's picked up pretty well. The art, it's a little cartoonish, but I still dig it. I like the style. It's an Aftershock book. I love it. And then I have kept up with Fallen World number 3. It's still going strong. I'm understanding everything. It's Dan Abnett. I'm not a big fan of Dan Abnett, but I'll read his Fallen World. Not as Aquaman.
His Aquaman could have been like Fallen World if it wasn't for all the other crap he had to deal with, events and interruptions and politics.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say on that.
Right. Just like two more books. I have like this book called Critical Role by Vox Machina Origins. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons, but it's done well. The writer is Jody Hauser. It's really good. It was funny. It was witty. It's going to be a board game, I guess. They haven't.
wow.
It hasn't been released yet, so I was interested in it. I actually bought a couple backlogs because it's been out before this, and I'm reading it. I enjoy it. I also got Boombox's Ghosted in L.A. by Sina Grace. It's pretty good.
How's that?
It's pretty good. I like it. I would say it's more targeted to like teenagers, you know, but I enjoyed it. And then the final book I got was Strangelands by H1 Comics. It was all right. I'm interested into like the world building of the H1 universe to see what happens. This is what the first book since Ignited.
Yeah, I read that one, and the first thing I said is I went back to the front of the book and go, is this Mags? This doesn't sound like Mags. You know, the dialogue wasn't snappy and smart the way hers tends to be. And then I saw there was a co-writer, and I don't know how much she's writing. So I don't know. I just expected something different from this book. So it didn't hit for me. That would be the only thing I would say about Strangelands. But like you, I'm interested in the whole grand scheme of things of the universe they're creating.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested in the whole universe. I think it has potential.
Yeah.
Do you want to before we move on to with Joey, get Ronnie's question out the way?
Oh yeah. Why don't we try to hit Ronnie's question? Okay. So let me see if I can give me a second. I have his question right here. I don't have it out. It's a pretty intense question. Really about, combining comics and wrestling, really mashing it together, which is our goal. We kind of just did the fan cast of Black Hammer. So this is along that vein. The greatest comic book villain and wrestling heel of all time. If you could swap one of those out, for example. So in other words, we take a wrestler and we swap them into the comic book role, and we take the comic book character and we swap them into the wrestling role. Who would we pick? And, explain our reasons why, basically. So it's kind of complex in that sense. And I cheated a little. I didn't do a heel slash villain, really. Mine was a little more in the middle, kind of like an anti-hero kind of thing, but still kind of a bad dude. And I went with Darby Allin as my wrestler. Darby Allin is a wrestler in AEW. If you haven't seen him yet, he has a kind of a dark past. He's a former skateboarder. He paints half his face with a skull to signify that he's half dead. I guess when he was a young boy, he was in a car accident. His uncle was driving, and his uncle was killed in the accident. So he's experienced death since a young age, and therefore he lives kind of a daredevil type lifestyle. Like, he doesn't worry about his self interests almost. He just puts his life in danger and lives every day that way. And that's why he takes these crazy bumps. And as a skateboarder, some really insane things he's done. I'm going to swap him in with Marcus, the lead character in Deadly Class. Marcus in Deadly Class also saw his parents killed in front of him when he was a young man, and became homeless because part of that, and kind of lived his life on the edge from day to day. Then ends up in a school and becomes an assassin and uses his skills in a way to hurt people. Also going through life kind of looking for meaning. So that's my kind of deep dive thought. Darby Allin can become the new assassin and become Marcus in the Deadly Class world. And Marcus could learn how to wrestle. He's a skateboarder himself, and learn how to take these crazy bumps, because he would do that. He would live his life on the edge. So that's my crazy answer.
That works. Especially like Marcus was into like who was the music that he was into, like
The Smiths, maybe. I can't
the
remember.
Smiths, and kind of like that punk rock stuff. And then you kind of feel like Darby Allin, he's from Seattle. He's into like the grunge music, so it's just different eras of like that character.
Yeah, I saw a great interview with Darby recently. Man, that guy has lived a crazy life, and right now he's in this situation where he wants to skateboard really bad. And what's cool is I want to find him in Arizona. He skateboards in Arizona a lot, but he may have to like chill a little bit on his skateboarding because he does such crazy skateboarding. He might hurt himself, and he might not be available for regular television.
Yeah,
I mean, look up his skateboarding videos. Holy shit.
yeah. You think he's taking bumps in wrestling? Wait till you see what he does in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
If I'm gonna answer his question, Ronnie's question, I'm gonna take Coach Boss from Southern Bastards. He's crazy. Okay, he's a bit racist. And if he's really nasty type person, like the things he does, like he doesn't give a crap about anything. Like he wants it his way and things like that, and then he kind of controls the city. Now, if I was gonna take a wrestler and intertwine them together, switch spots, kind of Freaky Friday stuff, I would switch with Sammy Callahan because he's nasty. No one likes him, not even his mom. He's really nasty. Like he does some like dirty ass stuff. Pardon my French, but he does. He's nasty, and
he's violent.
Yeah, very violent.
Like the coaches.
It doesn't care, and he kind of treats like he got fired from MLW for breaking up bleachers and stuff with his thing with his match with Mance Warner. I think the place that he wrestled at actually billed him for $7,000.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, because he just doesn't care. Like he thinks it's like his yard, so to speak. Yeah, that's what I would have to do. I had to sit on it and think for like a week. We sat on these for a week because Ronnie kind of hit us with. We actually had to think. I couldn't just answer it right away. I had to put some thought into this.
Oh yeah, well it made it more difficult as we're talking about indie comics, and in indie comics, it's not as cut and dry as like say if we switched out a superhero in DC or Marvel. I mean, I could do those much faster. I probably could do one of those on the fly. We needed a little more thought to think. Okay, what kind of wrestler fits a more traditional real life person? Like the coach could really be a real person in the South. He's a mean, nasty hit football coach that only cares about winning, and he's horrible to some of the players that maybe he doesn't believe live up to that standard, and he's just a real jackass. And he runs the town because football is the most important thing in town. You could totally see Callahan being that person.
Yeah.
So I get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, he's from Ohio. Nothing against the people from Ohio, but he's you know it. You know it. That's my alma mater. I'll show you the whole wall in this basement right now. Hail to the victors.
Hail to the victors. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. So I think that's a great pick. I think that was a great question. Yeah, and it inspired us.
Yeah.
It inspired us to come up with that. It also inspired us to kind of include the Black Hammer thing. And we're going to try to do more stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to show people how it works together to, that they both, you can like both and they're very similar in ways.
Yeah, storytelling. It's all about storytelling. Bad wrestling has no storytelling. Bad comics has bad storytelling. So, okay. All right, nerds. It's time to wrestle. So, hey, Joey, how you doing this week?
Good.
Good?
Wow, you're really bringing the energy this week, Joe.
That's all right. He's been watching so much wrestling, he's worn out. Have you been getting up in the middle of the night and watching New Japan?
Not in the middle of the night. But
that's right.
He has been pretty obsessed with the stuff lately.
See, where I live, it starts at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it. So if I watch those crazy tag team matches. I can wait a little later to watch the real stuff, but yeah.
That's what time Joe starts going to bed because he's on summer vacation from school, so he stays up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Nice. Very cool. Well, do we want to jump into that and talk about the G1 Climax so far? I have the standings in front of me. I have the standings up to the results for yesterday, Thursday. I don't have today's results.
So you have the A block, but not the B block.
Yeah, but I have. So in other words, this is the standings as of the end of the show yesterday of both the A and the B. So this will have one show missing from the B block.
Okay.
So they'll have less points. Like the best someone is like Ishii's only 4-0 in B block because they're one match behind, where Kenta is 6-0 in A block because they have one more match.
You mean these 3-0, 6 points, right?
Yes, sorry, the points. Yeah. Sorry about that. He has 6 points because he's 3-0. Ishii has 4 points because he's 2-0 at the point of me taking these stands.
Okay.
So is there anybody who has surprised you so far from either block that has a lot of points? Like Archer has 4 points. Tanahashi only has 2. Osprey only has 2.
I think
Jeff Cobb, Naito, and White all have 0.
I think Fale and Naito's points are the most surprising. Because Fale has more than he should.
He has 2.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And
no one thought he was going to win that match, though.
Yeah.
And then Naito has... Does he have 1 or 0?
No, he has 0.
Oh.
So I could see them telling a story of a comeback story, but you can't do a comeback story for all 3. Cobb has 0, Naito has 0, and White has 0.
I want to take the approach of I'm surprised that Kenta, it's his first time coming back, and he's 3-0 right now on there, right? 6 points.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think that's surprising because they're showing him being dominant just like he was before he left. But another one that I'm really surprised about is I would have to say Jay White being defeated. He's not undefeated, he's defeated. And that's surprising to me.
On the Kenta, he doesn't just have the points. He has victories over Tanahashi and Ibushi.
Yeah, that's huge.
So, those are some big wins.
Because isn't there is there 6 more matches after this? Like they finish out this, but I think they have a few more after.
Do they play everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, do they wrestle against everybody in their block?
Yes, and then I believe they have like 3 matches after. Or I could be wrong.
Man, there's at least 6 more matches. It looks like. From what I see here, then there's at least 6 more matches.
Right.
There's 1, 2,
yeah, because I think they mentioned after, who was it? Somebody had lost. Zack Sabre had lost on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. And they said he would have to win the next 6 in a row to have a shot. I believe that's what they said. I can't remember. I watch so much wrestling that I don't know, man.
Yeah, Zack Sabre hasn't won anything yet. He's the only one in A block who has not won a match. So.
Yeah. But I will say for the people that do listen to us, if you like tournaments, this is the best tournament, like booking to keep you like they have me on my toes. Like the people that I thought was gonna win, like Jay White or Naito, neither one of them got a win yet.
Yeah, you picked Naito to win this whole thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I was like, should I pick Jay White? Because Jay White, he just wrestled Okada. He just lost at the last big pay-per-view that maybe they'll set up, the rematch between them. And now I'm like, what the hell? Is it going to be Moxley?
Well, Moxley and Ishii are at the top of the B block. Now, they wrestled today, so somebody lost.
Yep.
But they're at the top of the B. And you know what? Ishii has been the surprise for me of this whole tournament. He's been so cool. I thought for sure after the Cobb match he was going down. I thought he was going to be so gassed, and they're going to say, well, he's gassed. He's tired from the Cobb match. Then he wins another match, I was like, holy crap. So, yeah, I'm really excited. That was one of my favorite matches. The Ishii Cobb match, without a doubt, has been one of my favorite matches of this whole tournament. That was good stuff.
That's like two unmovable objects. Is that how Gorilla Monsoon would say it?
Yeah.
This like I'm surprised. Like I think like they're booking Shingo Takagi. Is that how you say his name?
It's Takagi.
Takagi. Oh, ooh. Glad that you're joining us now there. Yeah, him, Shingo. Okay, Joe.
You didn't say that wrong.
How do you say his name then?
Takagi.
Takage.
Yeah.
It's not Takaki's.
No.
Or Takis.
Takis.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, Takis. But anyways, I like this guy because he reminds me of like if you watch Bloodsport and you see like Jean-Claude Van Damme going up against that dragon, whatever his name is, the big Japanese guy in the movie. Like he reminds me of him. Like he could play that part. I think that's done really well with his booking.
I'd agree. Yeah, I mean this whole thing, he should have beat Juice Robinson in that match against Juice Robinson.
Oh, don't get Joe started with Juice Robinson over here.
Yeah, I know your boy's 4-0, but or not 4-0, 4 points 2-0. But he should have lost to Takagi.
The Juice.
But yeah, this has been a blast, and if I know it's long and it's happening every day, so maybe you don't have time to watch them all. One great thing about the app is you can watch just a fight. That's an option. They have them broken down. You can just watch one match. So you could click on that. Say you don't have time. Look at the matches. Look at someone you might be interested in. You had Evil and Sonata go at it. 2 tag team partners. Mm-hmm. That was fun. And I think Sonata's had a great tournament personally. The points aren't showing so.
Right.
But he's definitely looked good in this tournament. Ospreay's looked good. He only has 2 points.
Of course he looks good. He's the greatest.
Poor Tanahashi only has 2 points, but he had a great match with Kenta. So,
right.
Yeah, there's a
like the thing that I like the most is that Jon Moxley, he shows that he can wrestle because in WWE, the booking, maybe it was the booking or maybe he was like worn down. Like he didn't seem like he looks energized and like dominant. Like this WWE messed up with him and they messed up big time.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. He seems happy. He's meshing pretty well. The Cobb one, I think he looked a little stronger. I think it made Cobb not look so strong. That would be a little complaint. But I think that's because they have big plans for Moxley, so they didn't want him to look bad in that match. But I think actually Cobb's had a little bit of a trouble kind of adjusting to the speed of some of these other guys in the long matches, to be honest.
Yeah, he does look winded at times. He even looked like that in Ring of Honor when he fought Mark Haskins that one time. He looked a little winded.
Yeah. In that match against Ishii, I thought he was blown out, man. I thought he had nothing left. He goes down to pick him up, and then he kind of gets up and kind of wobbles, and then goes down to try to pick him up again. I was like, ooh, he may really be out of gas, because they really went at it, and it just goes to show what kind of shape Ishii's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend if you like long, solid wrestling. I mean, these matches have been incredible, and the fact that they're it's a tournament style. I would skip all the pre-stuff.
Yeah.
They're basically just multi-man tag teams with the people that aren't in the tournament that day with some sprinkled other things. And, man, if you can watch all that and stay on, you're props, man. I cannot watch that.
Hell no. Fast forward that stuff.
So I'm watching the tournament itself.
To finish the subject, what was the best G1 match so far?
For me? Oh, man. I really did like Cobb and Ishii. I think Archer and Ospreay did a good job. I like Sonata and was it Sonata and Ibushi? Now, I can't remember who Sonata fought in his second match. Sonata's second match was really good. Also, Sonata had a good match.
Sonata's second match was against Ospreay.
That was my match.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, you asked me. Could say, but yeah, he did a good job. Saber's had good matches, even though he hasn't won anything.
But he's not believable when he's like getting mad and pulling flags out of like
oh
the
no,
people.
that stuff's dumb.
Like,
I agree with you there.
It's like the skinny guy that doesn't work out and he's throwing a fit. Now, how am I supposed to be believable that Sean Bradley's getting upset at people? Like that's like he looks like a freaking giraffe out there. He's so skinny. But if I was to say like a wrestling match, I would have to say that it's Ibushi versus Ospreay. Even though my boy lost, he still made it look sweet. He did some great things. I like what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
They sold the injury angle very well in that match. They both are injured, and they sold the neck, and then Ibushi with the ankle. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I think Will is actually really injured.
Ibushi might be too, because it's I guess the ankle that he fell wrong against. Who was he fighting that he jacked his ankle up? I don't remember.
Kenta?
Yeah, maybe it was Kenta.
I thought it was.
So
Might have been the tag team match the week before. He was like limping and stuff after the match, and against Evil and Sonata with Ospreay.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe. So what's your match, Joey?
Well, I was gonna take Sonata
versus Bad Luck Fale.
No, Sonata versus Will Ospreay.
That's a nice match. Like I said, Sonata has looked really good. I was bummed that Evil beat him.
Didn't you choose that match though? So
which one?
The Sonata versus Ospreay.
I might have. The problem is I've been watching so much of this. I've been watching it every day that it kind of like, it's the next match you start liking more, and as like you guys start talking, I remember more matches. Like I totally forgot about the one that your dad just said, and I just watched it, and I told him that match was amazing. I didn't want to spoil it for him, and I forgot about it. The Bushi, Ospreay.
Those two guys are like the future of wrestling for real. For the people that don't watch New Japan, if you have the WWE Network in the 205 Live tournament, Ibushi was in it, Kota Ibushi, and they tried to sign him, but he was smart and decided to stay in Japan.
He just wanted to promote himself, which wasn't a bad idea.
No.
He used them. Good for him.
Well, seeing you chose Will Ospreay, or you might have chose him, I'm gonna choose Naito versus Toru Yano.
Oh, chill out.
Interesting match. You know what I liked about that match is the announcers talked about don't sleep on Yano, because every tournament he's done something like that. Mm-hmm. Like they listed like all these big names he's beaten year after year after year after year. He's played spoiler, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it just showed that he's not just a dunce.
Yeah, when Joe told me that he had won, I told him I didn't even want to see it then.
Yeah, he told me to rewind it, and then he told me I wasn't lying.
Yeah, I didn't believe him. I was like, how's he? No way.
He said he squashed him, right? I said,
no. I thought he squashed him. Well, he should squash him, right?
He said, shut up, go to your room, rewind it.
Oh, come on. Now you're making me sound abusive or something. What the hell? Go back to sleep.
Did you do the Oz cutter on it?
I almost did. I threatened him with it. I threatened him with it. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I've seen 2 matches for today, so I already know some things that have changed. So, yeah, I can't wait to get back. I'm going to watch that after this later. So, but, yeah, get on that G1. All right, let's move on. Unless anyone have anything else about the G1?
No, just that it's on tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So it's still going. It's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. I guess for people with WWE real fast, imagine if you got a tournament with the people that never fight each other.
That'd actually be pretty good.
You know?
But who's booking
Yeah, I mean
it?
that you never see fight each other.
No, but this is better booking. You have to
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
this you can watch a WWE event and know who's gonna win. When you thought like Naito and Jay White were gonna be undefeated or taking their block,
They would
and
be.
they basically just flipped the script on us and was like, yeah, they still haven't won. Now what?
See, you could pick a Brock Lesnar to win or Roman Reigns, and it doesn't change.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. This is great booking. Some of the best booking in the business right now is happening at New Japan.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
they're swerving us on a daily basis.
Your guy, Naito, pretty much lost to the Red Shoes, the referee.
Okay, let's stop talking about that Yano match.
Naito's coming back, man, and you know he is. That's going to be the storyline. He's going to make a big comeback. So we'll see. All right, let's move on to AEW. AEW this last weekend had their Fight for the Fallen pay-per-view, and I don't know about you guys, but I am an AEW mark now. I'm all in, pun the whole thing. This is what I want from an American wrestling company right now. I mean, it has the sprinkles of Japan. It has the sprinkles of the lucha. It has a little bit of the things I do like from WWE. It's perfect. I'm all in.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you because it's done really well. I can do without the pre-show or maybe two
Yeah.
matches in the pre-show, but other than that, I think it was a great show. I like it. Certain individuals or in matches were able to showcase things, especially the Luchasaurus.
Oh yeah.
I thought he did amazing. I'm really starting to believe that him and Jungle Boy should be a tag team.
They kind of showed Luchasaurus's lucha and his strength in that match, so he had the best of everything. And
Did you?
And they were a good tag team. They actually were a tag team. It wasn't just a big guy. Hey, let's put this big guy and this little guy together. They actually did some things together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some moves, and they had interaction the way a tag team should.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to just go straight down the card and just?
We could. I mean, I'll go back to that thing you said. I don't understand the point of a pre-show anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE does a pre-show because
people.
it's to brag about how many people are watching the network.
Right.
Okay. So AEW really doesn't need to do a pre-show. It makes the show too long, and they really haven't done a good job with the matches per se on the pre-show. We're 3 pre-shows in, and it's been hit or miss with the pre-show. So maybe they should just junk it.
Yeah. I mean, or save the pre-show for your big pay-per-views. It doesn't have to be every pay-per-view, but if you're gonna have something to rival WrestleMania or SummerSlam, I think the next pay-per-view is it called All Out now?
Yeah, All Out.
Now that one, I'm sure the pre-show should be pretty decent because you're gonna have to spend $50 for it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't pay for the pre-show. The pre-show is meant to get you to buy the show.
Well, then they're
I'm
going to
just
have to
curious
give
how
us
many
something
people-
that's worthy of buying it.
Yeah, and they haven't been showing you anything that's been worthy of buying it. They've been showing you the librarians. They've been showing you, Now, okay, it was cool to see B. Priestley. That was cool.
Was
but
that the
for
pre-show
the most
too?
part, that was pre-show.
Okay.
That 4-women match was pre-show.
Okay. Yeah, I that was probably the best match of the pre-show. And for me, that match right there with seeing B. Priestley, Will Ospreay's girlfriend, of course. She showed that she's the natural heel of the company for females. She did everything heel-like. What stood out to me was Britt Baker was concussed, and she some people might take it that she just thought both Japanese girls looked the same, but no, she was concussed because you could see the embarrassment when she came to in her face, what the hell did I just do?
Yeah, she was not there. They should have pulled her out of that match. They should have done some kind of trickery to get her out of that match. She shouldn't have continued, to be honest. And she went out there and still took a lot more hits to the head from Brie.
Yeah, that was a great match, and I enjoyed it. I actually had a lot of fun with the women's match. I want to see more of B. Priestley. I want to see more. I want to see her fight Britt Baker. I think that's a good matchup for them because she's a big girl. What is she like? She's only like 5'10", but as a female, she looks like huge compared to if she's next to Riho or those other female wrestlers. But yeah, man, she looked good. She's a little still green, but I think she's the champ in Stardom right now.
Yep. I think they're focusing on Riho. Riho has been in every pay-per-view.
And they should because
so they're building her. That's like I saw an interview with Jericho how they're going to pick a few stars and work on them for a month to really introduce them to the world because they have so many new people. And it's very obvious. I would say Jungle Boy / Luchasaurus and Riho are two people that they've been on every show.
Yeah, they should because she's really talented. Maybe you put her in that David Goliath match with Priestley.
Maybe. I think the thing with Priestley is I wonder how much availability she has. Like, she has commitments. She's one of those wrestlers that definitely has commitments on the other side of the world. You know what I mean? So it's interesting when it comes to television how much she'll be involved. So talking it through, I understand why they have a pre-show now. I guess I need to get off the no pre-show. It's because they don't have TV. They have to develop stories. And they have to develop, like you said, a Britt Baker, B. Priestley feud was developed on that pre-show match, basically, because they have no other place to develop that.
Yeah.
Twitter, I guess, but you know what I mean?
That's for that other company.
The pre-show matches are going to be what's mainly on the regular show, so I think it's more of a teaser.
Oh, I hope not.
It's like they're going to be like one of the first two matches, and then it's going to be like the last two. How many are they going to do? Like, I don't know. But then they're going to have like the mid-card, and then the like one big match, which isn't that big, just to end the show. But that's what's mostly going to be on the show. So
we're also going to get promo segments. We're not getting really that we're going to get that more on TV. Like, I think like the Librarians will be less in ring and more backstage segments.
Let's just hope Kenny Omega doesn't get a mic because he's boring.
Yeah. They need to have him as a quiet champion. So all right.
He needs a Librarian.
Okay. Sticking to the women. I was not happy with Brandy Rhodes. I like her a lot.
Is it because you bought into her video package leading into it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't buy into it. That would be good. That would be good wrestling thing. I just feel it's like Stephanie McMahon light. She's playing the authority figure, running the women's division, and just scheming to win kind of thing. It's very, I don't know. That one's very WWE to me, and I don't like the direction they're going with her. They have too many good wrestlers. They can put on too many good matches for us to be doing that kind of storyline. I don't like it. I changed the channel on WWE stuff. Stephanie comes out and
yeah, because didn't Stephanie use the bigger girls too, like the more powerful ones, like Awesome Kong's out there, or Karma?
Yeah.
Well. And the thing I would say about Brandy Rhodes is that she didn't do Allie any favors by showcasing her talents because it was terrible. Brandy's wrestling skills, she is would you say she's a jobber? Joe, you should know. You're a jobber.
You gotta cut that out.
Sleepy jobber.
Jobber Joey Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, she doesn't. God bless her. She's working hard, but it shouldn't be the main match of the show. It just
no.
And like you said, Allie's a good wrestler, and Allie's big. Allie needs to be having programs with Britt and B and Kylie. You know what I mean? That's where she needs to be having programs.
Yeah.
You can't waste that talent.
The only reason why that wasn't a pre-show match was because Brandy Rhodes is one of the main people in the company. Otherwise, they would have pushed that match down into the pre-show and brought up a different women's match.
And it was also a vehicle to get the Kongs together to set up. They're going to fight at All Out. If they haven't announced it yet, they will be soon.
Yep.
Awesome Kong and Aja Kong will fight at All Out. You watch.
Yeah.
So that's what that was used for. But yeah, it didn't do. That's one I could have done without, or it could have been shorter or something. It just was. Ugh. Yeah. What did you guys think of the 4-way Sean Spear, or the 4-man tag team kind of, or 3-man, 6-man tag team? God bless, I can't do math. Sean Spears, MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. What else am I missing? Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah, and Joey Janela.
Yep, Joey Janela. What did you guys think of that one?
I thought that this match was done really well, and why I think it was done well is because Sean Spears is playing a heel part, so he kind of like never was in the match at all, really, and until it was the end, and he kind of finished it, and I thought that was done well. And then he kind of looked back at MJF, which kind of sets up a feud for them in the future. But I would say, like, Joe, stop giving me the 10 count.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe, we're on radio. Yeah. No one knows you're making the 10 sign.
But I will say, like, MJF is a superstar. Everything he does. Joey Janela was okay. I could do with, like, do it without Jimmy Havoc, like, showing us that he likes to bite people. But like Darby Allin, I'm still into that kid. Sammy Guevara, I really don't like. That's because Joe likes him, so I hate him. Yeah, you do. You were like, Dad, you should follow him on Twitter, and I'm like, no, I hate that dude.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel.
No,
the Panda Man.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But yeah, it was a good match. I like that match a lot. I thought it was good because everybody was able to showcase their talent, and it was a fun, exciting match.
I think you got to give Sammy some more love. He's going to be a good mid-card heel.
Yes.
Whether he works his way up to the main part, that's, he's another one of the young ones. He has a lot of work to do. But he's obnoxious. You're going to want some of those other guys to beat him. Right. He's going to go against, like, Darby and all them for matches. So.
Yeah, I'm not too into him, but that's just my preference, I guess.
Well, we did see a little bit more wrestling from the hardcore guy, like Jimmy Havoc. He had like more wrestling moves because it was an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, he did. And another plus side is that he didn't use a staple gun.
No staples. We're staple free. Because he's going to have to be staple free on TV. He's going to have to, like, him and Janela are going to have to alter their style. They might be able to do some things on pay-per-view, but they're not going to be able to do that on TV.
Right.
And I'm sure they know that. And they're cool with it, or they want to sign the contract.
Yeah.
But, yeah, right. Sean Spears came out of that as the star. He to me, he feels like a credible opponent for Cody now. He's not going to beat Cody, though.
No. I would think that he would go against MJF first.
Well, Cody needed an opponent for the pay-per-view, and I don't think there was any other natural opponents that were free. Who else was free? I don't think him and Sabre would sell.
No.
Who else is out there?
Cody Kenny rematch.
Well,
you got Kenny's with Moxley. With Moxley. The Bucks are with the Lucha Bros in a ladder. Jericho and Hangman are together. So who do you got to pick somebody who's still pretty big time. And Spears is, they built him up for that. So.
Yeah.
So, if CM Punk is there, what match does he get involved in?
Who does CM Punk have?
Probably the title match.
With Chris Jericho?
Would he help Jericho? Like, would he screw Adam Page over to help Jericho?
I think he would help. Okay, right now Jericho's always on like podcasts and stuff doing interviews talking about like they don't need CM Punk, so I think he would screw Jericho over.
Oh, okay.
Or
then that puts the belt on Page.
Or would he help Jericho because Jericho's deflecting it, acting like he doesn't need him, but he needs him to win.
So their tag team could be the Podcast Buddies.
What?
Yep. Podcast Buddies.
CM Punk doesn't have a podcast.
We saw something on a podcast, like you said.
What?
Oh my god. You losing.
You should go back to bed.
Okay.
Oh, for people that don't know, we had to wake Joe up for this. That's why he isn't talking trash right now.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I still, watching Page lately, Hangman Page, his matches, I don't see how they can put the belt on him. I just don't see it. I think Jericho has to win that title match.
I agree. I agree because, like Jim Cornette mentioned in this podcast, how can Hangman Page wrestle for like 20 to 30 minutes with Kip Sabian and then you're going to put a belt on him? And it makes sense. I mean, you can disagree with the Cornette as much as you want about his political beliefs and things like that, but when it comes to wrestling, he knows what works and what doesn't. So
I've been calling Sabian Jack Sabre Jr. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. I just realized that when you said
okay,
it.
I'm doing the podcast by myself right now because Joe and Andrew are falling asleep. So welcome to the Fred Show.
And then everybody else falls asleep because you start talking.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Now he wants to.
He's not completely asleep.
Yeah, he wants to turn heel on me right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. You have to put the belt on Jericho. Jericho needs to be your champ going into TV.
Yeah.
Then maybe Omega takes it off him. You have a rematch with Omega. And the way you protect Page is he has a bum knee. That's why he lost. He has that bad knee. So,
okay. That sounds about right.
That's my booking. And then the Bucks and the Lucha Bros. Well, before we go into that, the Lucha Bros and SCU. What'd you guys think of that match?
Amazing. Scorpio Sky is still one of the best wrestlers in the Indies right now. And that's my opinion.
Would you like to see Scorpio Sky go singles and get involved in the title? He could be a major player very quickly if they make him a singles player.
Well, like in Wrestle Circus he is, but I don't... As long as they don't break up the group, I think it would be fine that he would just go single. As long as they're still a tag team.
Well, you could...
Because I think they need people.
You could switch up the Lucha Bros and break them up, and both of those guys could fight for a title.
No, because we gotta...
Yeah, definitely Pentagon. Pentagon, you could instantly put him up there in a match with Cody or with Omega or somebody quickly.
Yeah.
Wait, so Pentagon is better than Kenny on the mic, but Pentagon doesn't even speak the language. Like, everybody's, like, excited, and then he's, like, talking.
Because he keeps saying no fear in Spanish.
Well, then
Zero
he starts
fear.
talking, and then people just start cheering.
Because, unfortunately, everybody does know the bad words in Spanish.
Well, yeah.
So they know he's cussing.
Yeah.
So they're
when he's busting out the putos and stuff like that.
Well, we did see a Pentagon versus Phoenix match at, on WrestleMania weekend, where they did fight each other, and they got extremely competitive with each other.
But we're talking about AEW.
Yeah, that's why they could go single. They could break up with a match against each other. And that would be good.
Yeah, and they don't even have to completely break the team up. They could just, have a single feud.
Yeah, because they could still get back together because they're actually brothers. Like the Hardys have done it before. Because they're brothers.
Because I was going to toss out to you, having watched this, I got a Shawn Michaels vibe off of Nick Jackson. And I wonder if Nick Jackson has a future as a singles wrestler. Do you think he would ever do singles wrestling?
Did you just call Matt Jackson the Marty Jannetty?
I kind of did.
Oh, man.
I guess I did because...
That is messed up.
Nick is definitely Shawn.
I don't think, I don't think either one of them... I mean, maybe if they can't ever sign anyone else, but I see those two working together forever.
Yeah.
The Hardys, who are like two of their idols, the Hardys did some singles work.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah, maybe
they
like
have personalities. They don't have personalities without each other. Like, Matt Jackson could take the mic and Nick Jackson sits there with his headband on. But they don't, like, he can't do anything without him. And then they can't do any tag team moves. So they can't do their finishing moves.
And maybe you got that Shawn Michaels
I saw
vibe
something
because
there.
he likes to give the sweet chin music.
They both.
No, it was
super
just his
kick
antics
party.
outside of the ring.
Or you
He was looking at the camera and he was smirking and saying little comments and just being really arrogant the way Shawn used to be when he was younger. I just got that vibe off him.
He's usually the quiet one.
The cocky one. I know, but he wasn't in that match. That's what surprised me.
They need a.
He wasn't.
So
Go
maybe
back and
he's
look
the
at it.
Marty Jannetty because he was drunk.
Oh, that's a possibility. We can go with that.
No, that was a good match. I thought that was pretty decent, but I really liked the 3-way tag team match. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
He could put his brother through the library
So
shelf.
we're moving on to the
And
next
then go
one.
to the librarians.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
The librarians.
They could put him through the
librarians.
librarians shelf. So
We can't do that.
No.
Omega Sema, match of the night.
ew, no. I don't know about match of the
Really?
night.
Well, what was your match of the night, Mr.
The
Sleepyhead?
tag match.
The Cody and the Bucks?
No, that match was better than that one, but it wasn't.
Oh, no.
It wasn't the best match. Cause you gotta have Phoenix, Pentagon, Scorpio Sky, and Frankie Kazarian.
Okay. I don't think that was better than the Omega Sema personally, but that's just a personal taste. I like that one better. Fred, you gotta be the tiebreaker.
I didn't have a favorite match of the night.
No, okay. That was because you were sleeping
I did fall asleep during the match. The
during your match.
Sema Kenny Omega, but I woke up in time to see Chris Jericho talking.
And then you fell back asleep.
Yeah, and then I went back to sleep, and then I watched the Young Bucks later because it was a long day for me.
Yeah.
I guess if I was to pick a match, I would choose the tag match with the Dark Order and Helico Jack Evans,
That is
and
good
then who was the third tag team?
The Luchasaurus. And
Luchasaurus
Jungle
and Jungle
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, the Jungle Boy and his dinosaur. Yeah, that one was really good because I felt like the Luchasaurus was able to step out of and showcase some things that he could do. And they actually showed that they could do tag team moves with each other, and it was done pretty well. The Dark Order, I like the guy that's kind of looks like a Viking. I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, I thought our dog has just joined us.
Welcome to the table, Mira.
So if
Very
you hear
cool.
jingling, that's her.
I'm holding
Her
her dog
tags.
collar so that it doesn't
Gotcha.
make noise.
That's okay.
But yeah, that was probably like my favorite match. I enjoyed it. But I liked the whole pay-per-view. I thought it was pretty well done.
You like Sammy
Do you think
Guevara?
it was too long? That's what a lot of people complained. It was too long.
I don't know, like,
You fell asleep.
well, yeah, but I ate too many carbs also that night. So, so you know, the little Buffalo Wild Wings went down a little too much, but
I didn't fall asleep. Had the same thing.
Nice. So, anything else for AEW, or are we moving on?
no, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, people watched it. I'm just excited to see what's going to happen at the next pay-per-view because it's going to be probably really good because we're paying for it, and right now this is just free. So
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. Really fast. Is there anything else you want to hit? MLW, NXT, Ring of Honor. I didn't watch Ring of Honor. I'll be honest. I watched MLW and NXT.
do you want to talk about the ladder match at the MLW?
I'm gonna talk about the promos.
Sure.
The who?
Promos. Talk about the
Okay.
parts.
Talk about the promos.
All right. So in the beginning, we got Selena Del Renta going after the golden ticket, which I have no idea what that is. but she wants
That's
it.
on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You get the golden ticket.
Oh, all right.
La Factoria de Chocolate.
Well, she's going for that. She must love chocolate. So she's going for that. She's got Ricky Martinez, or originally I think they said Jimmy Havoc went for it, and then he got knocked out and bloodied by Mance Warner. Ricky Martinez went up there, had the same thing happen to him, and he spit out some blood, which got some goosebumps. I was like, oh, all right. So they kind of changed his character a little bit. Like, he was doing more of the hardcore stuff and not other people to him. And then she finally got the Parks, and he locked L.A. Park behind a cage and then beat up his son, and then chased Selena Del Renta with a chain around his fist.
And left the phone on the floor. They zoomed in on to make sure he knew she left her phone there.
Oh.
So he probably has her phone.
So she's getting
good.
getting those missed calls from Dora the Explorer.
What?
Yeah.
No, she's probably getting those DMs from those freaks on Twitter because of the pictures she posts.
That's from
Like
you.
the background of your freaking phone, Joe.
That was Matthew.
You put Selena De La Renta in her bathing suit
That
on
was
the background
Matt.
of your phone.
You sent it
Wait
to
till
me.
your mom finds out, Joe.
You sent it
Wait
to
till
me
your mom
and it
finds
said
out.
Ola.
Oh yeah, I did send it to you, and I said hola.
And
But
then Matthew put
that
it as
doesn't
my
make me the
background.
bad guy, Joe.
And I changed it back.
Huh?
I changed it
Oh
back
my God.
to the.
Yeah, you shouldn't be following her Twitter.
I changed my background back to the Tupac background that says Cero Miedo. Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Yeah,
Whatever,
that's
you
what
little
she's your
freak.
favorite promo.
That's you.
Now we'll talk about the match. Well, you dream of Selena. Yeah, it was a good match, ladder match. I didn't like the outcome.
Right.
Kind of annoyed me the hell out of me. I wasn't happy with that, but
That wasn't cool, man.
no,
That was,
I don't understand. You think they win it back?
I
Because it looks like Davey Boy, like they were promoting that Davey Boy was fighting against them.
I think they put it on. I think that they're big believers in giving heels titles in MLW, which is smart. And if you're going to be called the Dynasty, shouldn't you have all the gold? I mean,
True.
That's a good start.
True.
so I think it's like that, and I think you have to, before MJF ends up leaving, you have to give him some sort of gold. So
Yeah.
to recognize,
So you can have a big match to take it off him before he
right?
leaves.
So recognize the hard work in his promo effort on his promos and
Let's
stuff.
not talk about his promos.
Huh?
Let's not talk about his promos.
What's wrong with his promos? He's awesome.
Needs a little bit more of that Disney Channel, that PG.
Well, I don't think the pay-per-views are going to be PG for AEW. They haven't shown that.
What was his promos at MLW?
Are PG?
No, they
You think
need
they're
it. They
PG?
need it.
Why? Because he said, sit on my lap and let's talk about what pops up. What are you implying? He's talking about starting a conversation.
Yeah, I know. I'm not talking about that. What are you talking about?
What are you
I'm
talking?
lost.
I don't know what he's talking about. He's
I'm tired.
yeah.
You know, talking. What about NXT? Anything?
Didn't watch it.
I didn't. I watched a little bit, but I was a little disappointed. Who was it? What was the match? Sam Shaw. What's Sam Shaw's name now?
Oh God, I forgot.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. But
I didn't like that match, but I did like the Killian Dane spot. I thought that was pretty cool, but I don't know
Came
why
out
they
with
did it
Riddle.
against like Matt Riddle. Why?
they must be setting him up against Riddle then.
Yeah, and then I did like the catch him.
Keith Lee Punishment Martinez is a setup too. They set that up.
Yeah, and I kind of like the Mia Yim beating down the Shayna Baszler's lackeys.
Shafir.
Yeah,
Bro.
I thought that was pretty good.
What about Gargano coming out and whooping up on Adam
Oh,
Cole?
that sounds.
We're gonna get another match. It looks like we're gonna get a
But
rubber match.
yeah,
on that.
but Tommaso Ciampa keeps teasing that he's coming back for his gold. So, is it a 3-way?
Maybe that might work.
Their main event matches at Takeover is usually like best matches in WWE because some of them because they're like the indie wrestlers and they book it like correctly, but only for the pay-per-view.
They book it correctly, and they have the WWE production.
Right.
So it looks badass. Because even AEW hasn't quite nailed it.
Yeah, because when they put the closed captions on and...
yeah. And they went, when they went off air, they didn't even know they were off air. And the music hasn't been spectacular yet for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
NXT, they give these guys cool music.
They
really set them up with good music.
I think they have it personalized. Well, I mean, that makes sense because it's WWE. But them, I think they just get, free music
they need to pay.
That sort of fits them.
No, they need to pay for music. If they need to pay to have music done. If they're going to be a big player on national television, they need to pay to get music done.
Yeah, well, what is it? Macho Man said that it's a first impression, so you got to have it, if you got good music and, good entrance stuff, then they'll they have your attention.
There you go. Dropping the Macho Man.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Say it right.
What's that? That's the weakest ooh yeah I've ever heard.
Yeah. Macho Man.
That wasn't him doing the Macho Man. He looked at his screensaver as Selena De La Renta again. Little freak.
No.
Okay. I think we should end this because he's getting a little crazy. Yeah. We're going pretty long on time right now.
Yeah, we probably have gone forever. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Let's see. Let's give our handles. I'm Real Comics, REELCOMICS. Our show's Indie Alley, and you can find Fred at
Comics Fred. We also have the Street Level Floppy Twitter page, YouTube as well. Yeah, and then Joe can be contacted through Selena De La Renta somehow. I don't know.
Maybe she's looking to recruit Los Nerdos.
Yeah, that's the surprise. You're not supposed to tell that we're the surprise tag team. Yeah.
Damn it! I'm sorry.
But we're with Conan, not Selena De La Renta.
Yeah.
Why?
Because we want to come out and be like, Olele, arriba la raza. Let me speak on this.
We need some spray tan.
Hell yeah.
We're a little too white, a little pale.
Yeah, it's been, tomorrow it's going to be close to 100 here, so.
I could be K-Dog.
Who?
K-Dog.
Who the hell
Conan.
is that?
It's Conan. I'll be J-Dog. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Who's J-Dog?
No, we need to end this. He needs to go back to sleep.
All right. Well, on that note.
Dude, it's like crazy.
Peace.
We out.
Ah!